Hey, what up, decisive marketer? So today I'm going to be talking about Hexometer because they actually have been around for like 2 years or so, and I realized that a lot of the new people in my community, they don't actually understand what is hexometer. I mean, all the hexac products, right? So we're talking about hexometer, hexowatch, hexomatic, and hexospark. So like, because these different products, they have very similar features and they can sometimes overlap. So I'm going to be explaining like what these are. So we're going to be starting off with Hexometer, and because I love the Hexac line of products so much, I have access to all of them, so I would like to kind of share and explain the differences because I get a lot of comments and messages from the community members asking me like what's the difference between Hexometer and Hexowatch, and like what's the difference between Hexomatic and Hexowatch, things like that. So I am going to be covering all of that as much as possible, starting with Hexomatic. Okay, so before I dive into sorry, not Hexomatic, but Hexometer. So before I dive into Hexometer, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more digital marketing and e-commerce content. All right, here we go. So here we are in Hexometer. Let me just kind of jump back into the main dashboard right here, which is this one. Okay, so I have quite a lot of like 10 sites right here that I am monitoring. Okay, so I'm just going to be using one of them. Let's use this one. Okay, so this is one of my websites. Okay, so the purpose of Hexometer is about making sure it's what we call like a site health monitoring tool. Okay, so it monitors a lot of stuff right here. I'm just going to roughly explain what they do. Firstly is the uptime monitoring, right? So it's going to monitor the uptime of your website, and it automatically monitors all the pages of your website, but they don't and it works a little bit differently from the uptime monitors that you have with other tools out there. Okay, like better uptime or Spark or whatever it is. Okay, so Hexometer works a little bit differently. So it will monitor your website, and you can have for the plan that I'm on, you can have unlimited like basic monitors, which sort of just monitors the uptime and performance, if I'm not wrong. And then you can also have advanced monitors, which are a little bit more sort of sophisticated. So you can have like maybe 20 or so of availability advanced monitors. So we will kind of jump into that later on. So it will monitor not just like uptime but also performance as well. Okay, right. And it's going to check your page speed and all that kind of stuff. And then it doesn't just monitor page speeds, it also monitors like your responsiveness, right? Your user experience. So it's going to monitor stuff like your spelling and grammar, right? That's something that is a lot of tools don't do that for you, right? So when you put up content, it's wrong or something like that, it's going to fix that for I mean, it's going to inform you about that. And there is also like accessibility audits, and it's going to check multiple different devices. There's also health monitoring. So it's going to monitor like your tech stack, things like that. W3C, your JavaScript errors and stuff like that. So I don't know what W3C is, so just If you know, that would be good for you. If you don't, maybe look up Google, because I would have to do that as well. So it also monitors your SEO, your Open Graph, your Twitter card, making sure that things are in there. So your search performance, and also the last one will be like security monitoring. So it's going to monitor your SSL cert, whether you have some security headers, your DNS records, things like that. Okay, any malicious checks, whatever, blacklist certain IP address. Okay, so it's gonna do that for you as well. And then the cool thing about Hexometer as well is that they have API webhooks, integrations, so you can just connect directly, with Discord, Telegram, Slack, Trello, Zapier, Public Connect, browser notifications, Google Search Console. So they have these integrations. You can also use webhooks. Okay, you can share reports. Okay, let me just move this. Okay, and you get email notifications. You can set SMS notifications. You can put in they apparently they have a WordPress plugin right now. I actually have not installed that, but that would be nice. And then some of the stuff right here. So you can also ignore certain uh words as well, right? So you can ignore, maybe you use certain words that somehow keeps popping up as a spelling or grammar. Let's say you run a cryptocurrency website and you use some funny words like I don't know, like CEX, like currency exchange, cryptocurrency exchange, something like that. And then it flags out as a spelling error, for example. Then you can ignore those words by adding them into this section here. We are I'm sort of giving a overview right here. You can also put in your sitemap, so Hexometer would have a better uh, understanding of your entire site, and then help you. And it's going to monitor better of all the pages that you have, right? Rather than them going through all the internal links that you have on your site. So that's kind of how it works, right? So uh, what I'll say is like Hexometer is like Ahrefs, kind of something like Ahrefs, except that they only crawl your site, something like that. Okay, so when you put in your website as a property in Hexometer, you don't have to put in like all the pages in there. It's just going to go in to your site, and it starts crawling your internal links, and it starts sort of monitor them every now and then. Okay, and then you can have unlimited standard monitors. Okay, so you can create monitor, right? So you can choose a standard uptime monitor. So it's just going to monitor your uptime and the response time. And the cool thing is that you can choose between different locations as well. That is US, EU, and Asia. Okay, and you can choose the frequency. The lowest would be 15 minutes. The fastest frequency would be 1 minute, right? So personally, I would not use 1 minute because it seems too frequent for me. I would put something like 30 minutes personally, and I can just put in the URL and it's going to start monitoring. Okay, so you can have unlimited standard uptime monitor, but for advanced monitor there is a limit, and it depends on your plan, right? So with the advanced monitor, it's going to check for the presence or absence of a keyword, right? So for example, if you're using WordPress, and one of the frequent errors could be critical error, and it happens on just one single page sometimes, so it's a little bit weird, and you might not catch it in time, so you can then put in the word critical or critical error, and then you can monitor a very important landing page that you have, or checkout page, payment page, things like that are very important. You can put in those keywords and make sure that these pages are up, right? Because you can have a page that is hit with critical error, but it can be up, right? So that page can be up. It's just that there is a critical error on the page. So maybe certain widgets are not loading, things like that. So you can put in some of those keywords to make sure that these items are loading properly. Okay, so it will tell you your response time as well, which is pretty fast for this site. Like the average is maybe somewhere around the middle here, like 100 ms to 100 plus ms. So that's still okay. And then it will tell you like your downtime as well. So when there is downtime happening, it will inform you of that. Okay. There is this task and issue section right here, which I will come to it later on. We'll jump into that once we've covered the rest right here. So next will be performance monitoring. So I'm not sure why there is some errors. So it has some errors checking the scanning the page right now. So it will tell you like what's the problem with your performance. Okay, so these are the ones some errors. So it's telling me that my CSS file sizes are quite large, so I should try and reduce them. JavaScript files are also too large. I should reduce them, and then that will help to make my site performance better. Okay, right, so that's kind of what it does. So it has a frequency about 3 to 4 days, and just kind of scans through the site. Okay, and then there is the user experience. So issues, there are two warnings right here. So it just kind of tells you, for example, like it's rendering the page right now. But I think what it does, it sort of tells you like where the errors are. Okay, not really sure what's going on here, but we'll jump into that later on. So you can check for accessibility audits, which is, it's not doing it right here. So this will be good, especially in the US, because in the US you have to make your site suitable for disabled people, if I'm not wrong. So you got to by tweaking certain things here, making sure you resolve the issues, then that's going to help you to stay away from lawsuits, right? So that's one thing. Next, you have spelling and grammar issues. So it says that there is this particular page with some errors. Okay. I guess we will go into the task issue later on and have a better idea where the issue is, right? And then you can check for mobile friendly scans right here. No errors. One error here, probably because the page didn't render well. Okay, and then you can check devices as well, right? And overall seems like it's fine. You can check the results here, see if it's loading well in different pages right here. Okay, so the next one will be SEO. It scans your SEO issues as well. So it's going to scan your meta tags. right? And it scans, it makes sure that you have canonical URLs being set, favicon, your robots txt file is accessible, and any issues with that, social links are in there, so those are working. It's also going to scan your meta tags, your Twitter card, Open Graph, and so on. Right. So if I want to, I can just click on scan now. It's going to scan. Right. So it will tell you, for example, certain page that you don't have an Open Graph image being set. You can also Twitter card as well, and then URL. Okay, I'm not sure what this is. Let me just jump in and check it. Okay, so it's just kind of make sure that the particular URL has canonical URL being set. There is favicon, there is social links, there is robots.txt in there. Okay, and then your search performance. So let's go in here. Oops. Let me just link again. How do I change the access? I give the full access right here. See the 5 services. Okay, I think everything should be connected well right now. So it will tell me my SEO performance. For example, this one here, I got very high click-through rate, very high click-through rate, very high click-through rate. Alright, this one also has very high click-through rate. So it kind of pulls in my Google Search Console data in here, I believe. Right, how many clicks I'm getting and so on. Okay. And then the last one would be the security issue. So SSL is working. Security headers, we'll check that later on. DNS, I've got some issues. Any blacklisted IP, any malicious, check. Okay. So we can just jump into task and issue, and it's going to tell you where the issues are. Okay, so securities wise, we can just filter it down, and it says that I have some security headers missing, like XXS, code injection, X-frame, whatever it is, right? And then I should verify my domain name on Facebook. I think this is already done, but I have to check that again, right? And then in my DNS record, I should set SPF and DMARC. I think this is also done, but I will check, again later. And then you have SEO issues. It's going to tell you, okay, you have duplicated meta description or open graph text missing. Okay, so these are the pages with the errors. Okay, so some of them have very similar meta description, so then it get flags out, and it tells you, okay, these two product pages, they are very similar. In fact, they have similar open graph tags, hence you get an issue right here. Okay, different product pages but the same open graph tags, so that can be an issue. So next one will be open graph text missing. You can hide them as well, so if you have already handled the issue, you can mark as red. Okay, then health issues wise, we have tech stack change. Okay, so this one just kind of tells you that you make some changes, that's all. Yeah, right? And then this one has some W3C errors or warning. There's a broken link in here. There are 3 broken links in here, so we should fix that. And then some spelling and grammar errors that we should fix. Then performance issues, so page speed is below 50%. Okay, we should improve that. And then CSS and JavaScript files should be reduced in terms of the size to have a better performance, right? So that's what you do with Hexometer, basically, right? Right. And you can also set the crawler settings. You can set the monitoring schedule. So you can have, for example, smart check, where it kind of try and optimize based on your site, like how often to check and how quickly to check. Because if they send a lot of checkers, it's going to slow down it's going to affect your site performance. So by using smart check, you might check in a particular time where there's not as many users and things like that, right? It tries to understand your website, so you can set the monitoring schedule and how many URLs do you want to crawl, because with Hexometer, right, it doesn't just load the page, it really scans through your site, so it can be a little bit heavy, so you can sort of change the number of URLs. So 3 is the average. You can reduce it, you can increase it as well. Okay, if your site is not able to handle it, you might want to reduce it, because setting it at a high frequency is just it might your page might not render properly, and it creates more errors for you, right? Okay, and then you can also ignore certain URLs. So I've added stuff like these kinds of URLs that should be canonical, so they should not be they should be ignored, so you can add them. And this has to do with like WooCommerce or some review plugin that creates these filters and so on. And then put in your sitemap, you availability monitoring. So you can also, for example, if you don't want to receive notifications for these types of errors, you can tick them and save it. It's an error, but I think these are not that important kind of errors, so you can set that up as well. And then performance change alert. So when your site slows down by more than 25%, then you're going to receive the notification. And then you can blacklist certain IP address, your spelling and grammar, you can add that. You can choose your language, so I'm just going to put in I guess it's US. You just save that. Okay, and then you can put in your spelling and grammar, your teammates, report sharing, you can share with them access. Right, API and webhook. The only issue that I find is that they only allow one API webhook, so that's not very good if you are you're wanting to send messages somewhere. So I think that they should have more API webhooks for you. Next would be Discord, Telegram, and so on. Okay, so there will be your direct integrations, right, and then your email notification. You can set that up as well. Let me just kind of delete this. Okay, SMS notification. You can set that up as well. I don't think all the websites are. All the sites are in there. Like not every country is in there. but you can get SMS notification, right? And then your WordPress plugin for Hexometer. Okay, and of course you can turn on dark mode if you want to. If you enjoy that. Okay, so that's all for now, and you can see that of course during this time when I'm making this video, there is a Black Friday deal going on right now. All the Hexometer, all the Hexac products, Hexometer, Hexo Watch, Hexomatic, Hexo Spark, they are all going on a huge discount right now, so you guys can take advantage of the deal. The link is in the video description. Okay, but you have to create an account to access the deal, right? So you got to create an account, then click on the link that I have. Okay, or you can click on the link and create an account and then click on my link again, which, up to you, and then you'll be able to access the deal. Okay, right? So you have to be signed into one of these accounts right here. You can just it should direct you to Hexomatic. Then you can just sign in from there and have everything set up a free account, and then you'll be able to access the deal, which is once you access the account. So that's all I have to share about Hexometer. I think that this is, I would say, if you run your own sites, this is like the most powerful tool out there, because it does so many things, right? It monitors everything that you have, your performance, your grammar, your spelling, your user experience, mobile friendly and all that, your health, whether you got broken links, you have your SEO as well, making sure that you have set open graph images for all your pages, making sure that you have set you don't have duplicated meta descriptions, duplicated titles, and so on. What else? Your site speed, whatever, and then your security as well, right? So making sure that your SSL cert is valid, everything, right? So that's why I love Hexometer so much, because it is one solution that does everything, and that's why I like it so much, right? I highly recommend Hexometer. If you enjoyed this video, I forgot to kind of show the dashboard a little bit, so let me just show you. You can see, okay, availability is great, health is great, security could be better, SEO could be better, but performance wise it could be much better, UX could be slightly better as well. So it kind of gives you an overview, and then you know where to kind of fix your site to have a better score, in terms of Hexometer perspective. And I kind of forget to share this one right here. You can use Hexometer as a lead generation tool as well. So what happens is that you can put in the plan that I have. I can have up to 300 different prospect reports. So for example, let's say I have a lead who may be keen to have me look at their site health, right? Maybe their performance is not good enough, their their SEO is not good enough, maybe they have some issues with their social media links, whatever it is. I can put in and generate a prospect report. So this is great for agencies, and then I can white label the report as well. I can put in my own logo and all that. So this is how it kind of looks like. Okay, this is how it kind of looks like. So I can see like you get a better idea for your clients of what's going on, right? And then you can export the report, you can send it to your clients. So this is very good for lead generation, but unfortunately they don't actually have API for this. If they have it, I think that would be amazing, right? okay, and you can choose what kind of reports you want to generate as well. So yeah, so I would say that Hexometer is amazing tool. Of all the Hexo tools, I would say that there is nothing. I mean, in the market itself, I would say that Hexometer, a lot of the uptime monitoring tools out there, they just don't do what Hexometer does, and that's why it's so powerful, right? If you run your own small business, I would highly recommend Hexometer for yourself. I mean, if you use it for your clients, I don't think it's very. I mean, you have to get a bigger plan, to be able to handle more sites. But otherwise, Hexometer is amazing for yourself to use. So I guess that's all I have to share about Hexometer. It's my first Hexo tool that I have purchased, and I love it so much. That's all I can see, right? So that's all I have to share about Hexometer. If you enjoy this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and let me know what you think about Hexometer in the comments below. Lastly, if you know anyone who can benefit, I believe that everyone can benefit from Hexometer, right? It does all the site health monitoring for you, right? So if you know anyone who owns a website, be sure to share this video with them, and I'll see you in my next video, which I'm going to be talking about Hexo Watch. Bye bye.